What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trades and Gains. I'm your host, Max Pitts, and it's been a brutal day on Wall Street. Nvidia just cratered over 8%. The Nasdaq is down 2.8%, and Trump's latest tariff threats have the markets in full-blown panic mode. Semiconductors are bleeding, Tesla is sliding, and options flow shows big money making some aggressive bets behind the scenes. In this video today, we're going to cover why Nvidia's stock tanked despite strong earnings, the latest Trump tariff updates shaking up the market, economic data that has investors nervous about recession risks, where institutions are actually moving their money through options flow and dark pool data via Investor Central Club, and key support levels that could trigger the next move. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. So first things first, the Nasdaq and S&P just had one of their worst days in weeks. And there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, Nvidia. It fell 8.4% post earnings. Nvidia reported strong earnings, but Wall Street didn't like what they saw under the hood. Earnings beat, revenue was at $39.3 billion, EPS was at 0.89, and data center revenue was at $35.6 billion. The problem though, profit margins and growth concerns. Nvidia, it lowered its gross margin forecast to 71% for next quarter, which is down from 73% previously reported. Investors are questioning if AI demand is slowing down. Some analysts believe the AI boom is already priced in, and Trump's new China tariffs could disrupt Nvidia's supply chain and hurt sales. Some key levels to watch: if Nvidia breaks below 120, we could see even more selling off. Now, the next thing we have in stock is Trump tariffs are back, baby, and the market jitters are only increasing. Trump doubled down on the trade war fears today, confirming that tariffs on Mexico and Canada will go into effect March 4th. An additional 10% tariff on China on top of the 10% that is already in place. And then new 25% tariffs on European autos are coming soon. Tech stocks got hit hard on this. Semiconductors, Nvidia, AMD, which fell 7%, and Broadcom fell 5%. EVs, with Tesla falling 3% and Rivian falling 4%. And cloud computing, with Microsoft losing about 2% and Amazon losing about 1.5%. Trump's tariffs are already impacting global supply chains, and markets are bracing for retaliation from China and the EU. Some economic data that we have is flashing recession warnings. The Wall Street is starting to panic about economic slowdown risks. GDP growth slows. With this new report today, we saw Q4 GDP come in at 2.3%, unchanged, but a sharp slowdown from Q3's 3.7%. Consumer spending is weakening, and businesses are cutting back on investments. Jobless claims also jumped. Weekly initial jobless claims surged to 242,000, much higher than the 221,000 expected. This is the highest level since December, signaling a softening in the labor market. And Bitcoin crashes below 84K. Bitcoin fell 4% today, continuing its slide from 90K plus highs last month. Crypto stocks like Coinbase are down 6%, and MicroStrategy also tumbled 8%. The takeaway here: weak economic data plus trade war fears equals market panic mode. Now, let's move over into our options data for the day. Again, we use Investor Central Club for all of our screenings. If you would like to join, feel free to use the link in our bio to get a nice little surprise on your first month off. But diving straight into this, let's go ahead and look at some of our big money. So big money is making some moves here. And let's look at the options market. Our top 5 options trades from the institutions today. Number 1 was Nvidia, with 74 million in total flow and 34.4 million in calls against the 40 million in puts. Most common trade was the $150 puts expiring on March 7th. And the takeaway here is institutions are hedging hard against more downside. The S&P 500 had 54 million in total flow, with puts having 51 million against only $3 million in calls, which is an extremely bearish flag and signal. Our most common trade were the 570 puts expiring for March 21st. And the takeaway here is hedge funds are preparing for a broader market drop. QQQ had 43 million in total flow, with puts having 27 million in orders against 16 million in calls, which is a bearish bias here. Our most common trade of the day were the 470 puts expiring April 4th. And our takeaway here is tech stocks are in trouble. Big money is expecting more downside. Number 4, we had Tesla, 21 million in total flow. Puts, we had 17 million. In calls, we only had 3.4 million. Another bearish bias, with the most common trade being the 280 puts expiring February 28th. The takeaway here is put flow is outpacing calls nearly 5-1. Tesla's chart is also looking extremely weak. And we had Microsoft as our 5th top, and they had 5 million in total flow, with 1.5 million in puts against 3.7 million in calls. The most common trade today were the $400 calls expiring on February 28th. The key takeaway from this is Microsoft is seeing quiet accumulation. Now, some dark pools. What are the institutions buying or selling in this case? In SPY, we had 921. Hold on, let me go ahead and filter for dark pool data and take big money off, and then we're going to order this by total, right? So that's kind of what we do. So SPY, we had $921 million in dark pool trades. Is this accumulation or is this more distribution that like we saw yesterday? Tesla, we had a $539 million traded at 283.78. This could be a major level to watch. And then Nvidia, we had 592 million in dark pool trades. Institutions might be averaging down on their positions. Our final takeaway here is if Nvidia drops below 120, expect more selling. If SPY breaks 570, the market could see another leg lower. Watch dark pool data for clues. Institutions are making big moves on a daily basis, preparing for more potential downside. Go ahead and drop a comment with your thoughts. Are we heading for more downside, or is this a dip buying opportunity? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification for more daily market updates. And go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Trades and Gains for breaking news, because we put news stories on there as well. And make sure to sign up for our free newsletter on Substack. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next episode. That is all the info and data I have for you today. Hope you're having a great day, and see you in the next one.